If you want to advance with me, put all your possessions into the fire, just as I did. Or go back home at your own risk, commanded the emperor. Soldiers were unwilling to part with the gold, diamonds, and gemstones they had. Circa 326 BC, in the city of Takshashila in present-day Pakistan. Toastmasters, any guesses who the emperor was? It was Emperor Alexander. If winning numerous battles to form one of the largest empires in the world was a big challenge, the bigger challenge was to manage the huge wealth acquired. When Alexander began his conquest from Macedonia, his aim was to win over Persia and few other small kingdoms. But as his victories surged, so did his ambition. So when he reached Takshashila, his empire was spread into 3 continents: Europe, Africa, and Asia. But his soldiers were exhausted by years of war. They were unwilling to go further. When they heard the command from the emperor, the message was clear. If they had to go back all the way to Macedonia, they had to face the wrath of cities they razed, people they plundered. Imagining that, they put all their treasure into the fire set up by the emperor. But wait, Alexander is not a fool to lose whatever he got into the fire. So he secretly sets up a group of soldiers to hide the treasure from Takshashila's firebed. He then moves on to face the Paurava king Porus in the banks of Indus. After Porus is defeated on the banks of Indus, his army refuses to go further. Under tremendous pressure, Alexander decides to return back. He now faces new challenge to carry back the new loot. It poses both logistic and security challenge. Part of wealth is transported through the ships commanded by his trusted admiral Nearchus. As you can see in the map, these ships sailed through the Indus River into the Arabian Sea, through the Persian Gulf, reaching Euphrates River in present-day Iraq. What happens to the rest of the wealth? For that, he takes the help of Indian sages at that time, known for their intellect. He picks one such sage, Ashwagosha. Ashwagosha, using the geometric axiom which were being developed at that time, creates a treasure map. How many of you want to know what happened to Ashwagosha? What happened to the secret group of soldiers which hide the treasure from the firewall? Did you feel the same curiosity when you were reading your history textbooks in your schools? Why? Because history was never taught that way in the form of stories. Toastmasters, welcome to the world of historical thrillers. What I just told you is a chapter from the Kannada novel Chittadanta, written by Dr. K.N. Ganeshaya. Ganeshaya is a research scientist in University of Agricultural Sciences, Bengaluru. A Fulbright fellow, he has been awarded with several fellowships from Indian universities as well. More importantly, he rekindled my interest in history. A captivating story connecting the historical incidents keeps the reader glued to the book. History comes alive, and it reveals its pearls of wisdom. That way, the history is made interesting. The history reveals itself that even the celebrated emperors of the world have feet of clay. Even they are driven by the same passions as you and me. Coming back to the story, after the treasure map is created, Alexander convinces Ashwagosha to accompany him to Macedonia. Was it because he knew his secrets? He chooses land route to return back. On the way, Ashwagosha self-immolates himself in Babylonia in present Iraq. For all the wealth he acquired, Alexander too dies in Babylon at the young age of 32 without ever stepping his foot back in his motherland. The secret group of soldiers stay back. Are they still guarding the Alexander's treasures? Their descendants, called Kalash people, live still today in North Pakistan. The story, the history pauses there to open up with new possibilities later. In summary, if the history has to be made interesting, and if we have to find new perspectives from history, history needs to be told as a collection of stories. Because we live to hear great stories. We live to tell great stories. Fascinating, inspiring.